All right, Jeffrey, so this is Nadia, and Nadia has agreed to donate her hair for Wigs for Kids. So,
Nadia, thank you so much.
Super excited. She has beautiful, beautiful hair.
Incredible hair,
So-
and virgin.
Absolutely. What you said to me before is very important.
Yes.
The hair has to be virgin, not chemically treated.
Correct, so it can actually be used in a hairpiece, because if it has been treated by any means, then it swells up and it can't be hand sewn strand by strand.
Wow, big difference. All right, so take me through the sectioning. That's the first part.
Good. Section's most important. Why don't we make this section right down the center to the crown, from the front hairline to the crown.
Okay. I will kind of let it go into its natural part and see where it splits. So that's a really nice place. That's pretty much where her hair splits.
Right on. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Then the next part of it, we'll take it from the crown down to the top of the ear. So that hair is not pulled in the back and given a ponytail and lost a lot of good quality hair.
You were going to measure the actual distance.
Exactly, so we're going
The
to
length
take
of the
our
hair.
measuring. I'm going to put that right there where your finger's at. Come down to that 12-inch mark and trying to give it all the ability to get strong ends. So we don't want frail ends or flowery
Okay.
ends. So that's the 12-inch mark right where your hand is.
All right. And then we're going to
take our
section this. I mean, we're going to secure it.
Yes, right.
With
we're
the
gonna
tie.
take
Little Ziploc ties. I'll put this in here.
There
All
we
right.
go. And so we'll take our measuring tool again, tape measure, come down to 12 inches, with a little give of those file ends, and you're right there. Now we can put
Okay.
that good tight,
So now
taut,
tighten this.
tight as you can. A real important point, because that's where the hair can start to come loose in the beginning of
Right.
the process, the harvest.
Okay, and then cut this off, right?
Take that off. Good.
All right, so that's our first section.
Now what we want to do is we want to take and put bands on this every 2 inches, securing it from getting all tousled up.
So we should do this before we move to the next section.
Correct.
All right, great. And you recommend that I use the elastic bands, right?
These, Louise, are the very best. They hold, they're secure, and when we get the hair at Wigs for Kids, it's ready to be processed and go to the factory.
Excellent. And does it matter how many times I go around this?
As long as it's taut. As long as it's
Okay.
taut and not loose, because if it moves, then of course you're going to have inversion of cuticle. That's where hair no longer is Remy, which means the hair is going in one direction,
Right.
and you have a tangle.
Is that far
Perfect.
enough?
Perfect.
All right, good.
I would have expected to be that perfect.
Well,
Look at
just,
that.
just
Yeah.
checking, making sure. So the next one, a couple of inches farther
Yes,
down.
exactly. And as we should say, the hair has got to be clean and dry. If the hair has any moisture in it whatsoever, then it has to be laid out to dry, because it'll actually get a mold in it when it's being traveled from, the salon to Wigs for Kids organization.
So keeping the hair dry is very important.
Very
It's got to be dry, not even damp.
Not even damp. They can use product on it to prepare the cut, shampoo, conditioner, and they can go through that whole process, but they don't want any moisture in the hair when they're ready to pack it.
Okay. And one more down here?
One more.
Okay. So this is the part that, when you were telling me that 40% of the hair doesn't get utilized, this is the part where a lot of times,
correct?
if it's not properly
Bound,
secured and
secured.
bound.
A lot of people even will clip their hair off. I mean, they really give from the heart and from the head, but they'll clip it and the hair will fall to the floor, and
and then
they
they try
pick
to
it up
gather it.
and they put it in a bag.
That's a waste
That's
right
right.
there. So this is
That's
good?
beautiful. That's beautiful.
All right. So next section?
Right down the center of the back of the head.
All right.
Separating the head and the back, 2 parts.
So
Left
all the
and
way
right.
down to the nape. And again, we're going to go through the same process now. The goal now is just to make sure that we're measuring the 12 inches, right?
Correct, correct. There you go, that's 12 inches.
Okay, so somewhere about here. All right. I'm so nervous. I want to get this right,
Well, I'll
and
tell you
that's
what,
what's-
you're gonna change our whole complexion of Wigs for Kids, because this will change the ability of the hair, the volumes of hair that we have and will have because of the Aquash family coming in with it done right, and it'll all be able to be used.
Great. So let's measure it again,
Okay.
just to make sure.
Right there.
So I'm on it, right? So now make it tight
Tight.
and cut that off.
And cut that off. And to the viewing audience, especially if you're not strong, get somebody strong. It's really got to be tight at that bound because that's a very, very important part of it.
And now start putting my
Our bands.
every couple of inches of
Every couple
band.
inches.
Right? And go
And
a
as
few
you can
times.
see, it's not that very difficult, but it's doing it right that makes the world of difference whether hair can be used and harvested correctly. The other thing with the sectioning that you're showing is the fact that if you pull that hair all back and cut the ponytail off in the back, and she's going to have a shorter side, we've lost also those 2-3 inches that are so valuable for us
Right.
when we're trying to provide a little girl with that kind of length of hair.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was going to be quite so complex.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, this is easy to do, but also easy to not do correctly.
Correctly. Exactly.
And so technically, this is something that anyone, any hairdresser can
Mm-hmm.
to learn to do properly. It's you're just trying to get the message out.
That's right.
To make sure.
And you know,
that
a lot of
everyone-
people come running in, and Nadia comes in and says, this is her third time of giving hair. And she just runs in the salon, cut my hair, and they want to do a good deed, so to say, so they cut her hair. Without this knowledge,
Without this knowledge, and then it's wasted.
it's
after.
wasted at that point.
Something like this, where there's 3-4 inches left. Would you
Do another
recommend
one.
putting another one?
Correct, correct. Good
Great.
point, very good point. The cuticle on here, as you well know, is like Velcro, and you don't want it to be traveling miles and hundreds and thousands of miles to go through the process of turning inside out and becoming a problem.
So I'm assuming now we just take the same pattern on the opposite
Mirror
side.
image, yes,
So I'm
that's
just
right.
going to split from the crown right to the
Top of the ear.
right to the top of the ear. Okay, so we have the 4 ponytails, and again, what Jeffrey asked me to do was to part it down the center and then part it from ear to ear.
Correct.
And the parting is it's not how perfect the parting is.
Exactly.
What you're trying to do is get the maximum amount of hair out of any one person that's
Divide
donating
the
their
head
hair.
up.
And then 12 inches measured.
Mm-hmm.
We place these little ties, which, by the way, are the kind, the little Ziploc ties that you just kind of pull through, and as you pull them, they lock. And then the rest is all created with the
go.
rubber bands, right?
That's exactly right.
All right, great. Let's cut the ponytails.
Well, because hair is not equal in thickness and shears are not equal in sharpness, we want to slide our shear between the ponytail above the tie and cut it in half, and then cut the other half evenly so we have a nice even cut. The most important part of shipping is that when you're done with the ponytails, they need to be wrapped in tissue paper. Now combine the ponytails and wrap them in tissue paper. Once you've rolled the tissue paper and the ponytails together, turn both ends in, fold it in half, and now place it into the Ziploc bag